Hello everyone, it is nighttime now, and we are back to talk about the final MCU release before Infinity War, and that is Black Panther. Yeah, we don't have very much Black Panther merch just yet, except for this awesome travel mug, which I have, poured my coffee into this in the morning, forgotten about it, and gone out, and then come back like 5 hours later, and it was still warm. This thing is awesome.
Yeah, it's made of actual vibranium. That's how it does that. Yeah.
We have seen Black Panther how many times now?
Three in the theaters.
3 in the theaters.
It's more than Ragnarok or Homecoming.
Yeah, we didn't have to wait for it to go to the cheap theaters. We saw it. We got Movie Pass now, so it's fine. But so, how do we like it the third time?
It still holds up.
Oh yeah, like all you think about,
wonderfully structured, great cast.
That's all you think about was how expertly crafted this thing
is.
Because we get out of the way all the things that we didn't like. There's probably not that many. A lot of the coolest action beats are spoiled in the trailer. Like Black Panther when he pin drops out of the hovercraft and disables the convoy.
Still looks good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it looks cool. When he nukes the moving car with a vibranium shockwave and then slow-mo lands on another car. That's what the music during that bit, the whole scene really is straight out of the Matrix.
Yeah.
With the car chase in Reloaded. It sounds very, very similar. Anyway.
You didn't like that?
No, I didn't. I'm saying I didn't like it. It very much invoked that kind of thing with,
because, the car chase in The Matrix was great.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the rest of the movie was kind of garbage.
Yeah, definitely. It takes a few pages out of that. Anyway, I also kind of noticed that in a lot of the fight scenes, the sound design was a bit off. You could tell the punches didn't connect and the sound effects were overcompensating. That's pretty much my only gripe, and I barely noticed on this viewing. But, the sound design on Civil War, for instance, is is unmatched. It's holy shit. This was a slight step down from that, but it's fine. As for the cast, all of the actors are stellar. Remember when they posted the shots for the whole cast? There was Malupita and Denai and Letitia Wright and Florence Kasumba.
Yeah,
I was in most movies, these 4 women will be competing for one role. But here in Black Panther, there is plenty to go around.
Yeah, that's what makes the movie so significant, is to have this big of a cast of mostly black actors in this kind of a big budget Hollywood movie about an advanced African nation and an African superhero is a big deal.
Yeah, and have so many of them be women as well.
Yeah, you have a whole
prominently featured.
Yeah,
integral to the plot.
Yeah, when I was young, I wanted to be a Dora Milaje. But then I realized that they were all women. Not that there's anything wrong with women. It's just
Manakia and Okoye have great chemistry.
Yeah,
and then there's also that friction when Killmonger takes over between spy and loyal soldier. That was really cool to see. Shuri, everyone's been raving about Shuri. She was a delight, and she steals every scene.
Yeah, she's hip. Women in STEM represent.
Yeah,
yeah. We were just watching an interview where they're talking about how. Now people they don't want to shake hands with her when they meet her on the street. They wanted to do the thing.
Yeah.
Wanted to do the salute. And also they like to walk up her and to go, "What are those?" Which, if you don't know, it's from Vine. It was a meme popularized on Vine where you point your camera phone in somebody's shoes and go, "What are those?" Yes. I don't know who popularized it, but it was a thing. Yeah. But Shuri's hip is the point.
Winston Duke was a big surprise as M'Baku in the comics. He's, of course, the man-ape. And it is kind of a problematic character, but they showed a great example of how to do a character like that tastefully on film.
He's still got the big fur coat, and he wears the ape mask, in one scene. So if you're annoyed that people think that it's offensive, maybe you should go back and tell your ancestors not to call black people monkeys.
Yeah. I've seen Winston Duke in interviews. He's like this giant teddy bear. Seems like a really sweet
He's American,
dude.
right?
Oh, yeah. He actually, I think went to school with Jenna Marbles or something.
That's what I read, yeah.
I loved Andy Serkis. He was a lot of fun in Age of Ultron, and he turns it up to 11 here.
Yeah, it's great. It's first of all that we get to see him, and not that we haven't before, but in such a prominent role where he's not doing motion capture, playing a CGI character or anything. He's playing, himself just as if he were a regular actor. The only mocap he's got to do is anything involving his sonic cannon of a hand.
Yeah, which is a nice adaptation of that a bit from the comics.
Yeah.
There's a bit during the interrogation scene where he just starts belting out "What is love?" And my guess is that was Andy like getting into character. They were like, "The hell, so put it in the movie. Yeah, it'd be fun."
It was certainly probably something that wasn't scripted.
Yeah.
Maybe something he came up with just because he was messing around, waiting for them to get the film loaded. Maybe he was just trying to make Martin Freeman laugh.
Yeah.
Which is another bit of fan service. I mean, obviously they're both playing characters from Black Panther comics already, but let's set it up so that we have a scene between the guy who played Gollum and the guy who played Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah. With Martin Freeman as Everett Ross, they kept saying that he's American, which I was like, yeah, sure, he's American. Because it's Martin Freeman who is like so thoroughly British.
Yeah.
It was like more of a stretch than most other things in the movie.
Yeah, so you got one English guy pretending he's from the West and another pretending he's from the South.
Yeah. We just watched War of the Planet of the Apes a couple months back, and there were moments watching Andy Serkis that I could like recognize Caesar. Weird. That's how far emotion captures come. And like a lot of fans were bummed that he was killed without turning into his ludicrous solid sound body. I was like, okay, we're doing it this way.
Yeah.
But then again, his carcass is right where the vibranium is at, so
I suspect he may remain a loose end. We might not see Claw turn into an energy being at all because we can only make so many of these movies. But actually, it would make good sequel fodder, which Black Panther's definitely getting a sequel for sure.
Oh yeah, it's getting many sequels.
So I just wanted, if you don't mind, I just want to read off the whole this awesome cast because I want to give everybody credit. Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Denai Guerrera, and I apologize if I mispronounce any of these names. Martin Freeman, Daniel Kaluuya, Letitia Wright, Winston Duke, Sterling K. Brown, Angela Bassett, Forrest Whitaker, Andy Serkis, Florence Kasumba, and John Canning.
Yeah, John Canning's back from Civil War. We saw him dying there.
Yes. So he's back from flashbacks. So apparently, Wakandans have access to the spirit world.
Okay,
which is interesting. I think
also fuels speculation that the Soul Stone is in Wakanda. I don't know.
Like as we discussed earlier, like ever since Doctor Strange came out, like with each new MCU movie, you're like, when are we going to see the last Infinity Stone? When are we going to see the Soul Stone? And we didn't see it in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. We didn't see it in Thor Ragnarok, and we're like, okay, are we going to see it here? No, we still didn't see it here. So wherever it is,
it would probably have bogged things down.
Yeah, wherever it is, they're going to reveal it in Infinity War itself.
Yep.
Okay.
John Connie's son also plays young T'Chaka in the prologue.
That's a nice touch.
Cool. And I noticed that in the Spirit World scenes, John Connie has a glass eye, and found that the reason he has a glass eye is because he's from South Africa and he was way back when beaten by apartheid cops and left for dead in an alley. Even in the news, erroneously reported that he had been killed, but he survived and went on to appear in one of the biggest movies ever.
Yeah.
So take that.
So let's talk about the main villain of the movie. Actually, Black Panther generally has two go-to bad guys in most of the origin stories I've seen. One of them is Claw, and the other one is Manape, M'Baku, both of whom are in this movie in supporting roles. Yeah. But Killmonger is an interesting discovery. And in Phase 3, we've been getting a lot of mileage out of turning C-list villains into stars.
Yeah, who would have guessed that Killmonger would wind up as one of Marvel's best villains?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of Killmonger's lines sound super hammy on paper.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's the lines necessarily or if it was Michael B. Jordan's line delivery. Now, don't get me wrong. He gives a great performance as this really character. But some of it just sounds like distractingly weird, and it all comes down to when you have a villain who's a street tough American in a movie full of West African people, and then he takes off a shirt where he's marked every kill he's ever had on top of this massive tank of a torso.
Yeah. I think he's even bigger here than he was in Creed.
Yeah. On that subject, it's interesting that Michael B. Jordan was, of course, in the failed Fantastic Four reboot a few years ago, and he has said that he felt like he needed to make up for that, and that's one of the reasons he agreed to do this movie. And for one thing, we're like, dude, you already made up for it when you did Creed.
Yeah.
Okay, but by the way, that movie also has Tessa Thompson, who was in Thor, and Sylvester Stallone, who was in Guardians 2.
Hey, wow.
So, so they've, snatched up all that gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do hope, part of me hopes that all of the cast of the Four Stick ends up somewhere in the MCU in other roles. we already had Kate Mara appear briefly in Iron Man 2, so, that's a start.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's do it. Yeah. Grab them all up. There's room.
With Killmonger, there were a few lines that remind me a lot of Dante Bosco playing Prince Zuko, which, there's some similarities, I guess. But
he gives a great performance on that show.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The moral quandary is one of the best thematic confrontations that the Marvel movies have given us.
Honestly. Oh,
yeah. And when it comes to secluding Wakanda from the outside world, I totally get it. Like, have you met us?
Yeah. The world.
As far as Killmonger's whole thing about spreading their awesome tech around to take out all the bad guys and assume control, he's been radicalized, but I totally get it too.
There's an appeal to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. When it comes down to is that their commitment to secrecy and to protect their way of life, specifically under T'Chaka's rule, created Killmonger.
Yeah.
And now Killmonger is here to subvert that very way of life and turn Wakanda into that imperialist power that they've always worked to stay away from.
Yeah.
All because T'Chaka abandoned his nephew.
Yeah.
He's Wakanda's reckoning.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of similar to Hela's ethos in that she believes that she's always been convinced that it's divine providence that Asgard should rule the universe, not just kind of, police it, but, they should be on top of everything.
And of course, there's also the similarities between Wakanda and Themyscira, which, Wonder Woman, that movie was already similar to Captain America and Thor.
Yeah, so
now it's similar to Black Panther too, because they have, this advanced, isolated nation hidden from view. There's even a moment where they, go through the little force field to see what it really looks like, much like the force field protecting Themyscira, so it looks like just a bare ocean. And so really interesting. I saw a poll on there saying, so who wanted to fight the Amazons or the Wakandans? We'll assume it's the Dora Milaje versus the Wakandans.
Yeah.
So they said, probably the Wakandans because they've got the vibranium.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Without that, then it's the Amazons.
Yeah. And then there's the free fall fist fight between Killmonger and T'Challa. It was straight out of Spider-Man 3 with Spider-Man versus Venom there.
Yeah. And this is the umpteenth movie where we've had the hero face off against the cracked mirror version of himself, which, there's a lot of these to go around. It gets a little tedious. So a part of me is slightly disappointed that this movie ended up following that pattern. Instead of having Killmonger wear something that was more distinctive and more him, instead of just the gold-lined version of T'Challa's suit. So who else has done that? So Hulk did that. Yeah. Captain America did that, fighting Red Skull, and arguably fighting, and again with fighting Bucky.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would say that Thor did that, fighting Loki.
Yeah.
And because, it's his brother. They're both Asgardian gods.
Yeah.
So we got kind of a brother. And of course, Iron Man kicked things off with his movie.
Yeah.
The bigger, badder version of himself.
Yeah. That's just the MCU.
Yeah. And of course, Ant-Man did that fighting Yellow Jacket.
Yeah. So yeah, it is pretty played out. So we also have Everett Ross piloting the hovercraft. Echoes Gordon driving the Batmobile and Batman Begins.
Except this one flies.
Yeah. T'Challa's dynamic with his dad has a lot of parallels to Thor and Odin, especially how Thor finds out that his old man's record is far from spotless.
I just realized something. John Connie has the glass eye, like you said, and Odin has the one eye.
Whoa.
Did I just blow your mind?
Okay, I got a little more of it here. Again. Okay.
Wow.
In Iron Man 2, Tony fights the bad guy who's getting revenge for what happened between their fathers, but Black Panther shows how to do that right.
Yeah,
with an actual
much
plot.
better version of that. The way, the kind of advanced tech that the vibranium gives the Wakandans that they've been curating over the centuries, especially with Shuri taking it to the next level, looks a lot like when Hydra got their hands on the Tesseract and started taking their World War II tech and turning it into what looked like 21st century tech.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they got the plasma cannons and everything.
Yeah,
and surveillance systems.
And they tried to take over the world.
Yes.
And now Killmonger wants to do that.
Yeah, so, familiar elements, but all put together quite well.
Yeah. On the subject of T'Chaka, consider this. Odin saved the kid and raised him. And he became a supervillain too.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Odin did some shitty things along the way. He was not upfront with the truth about Loki's heritage,
or raising him to hate frost giants when he is a frost giant.
Yeah,
so he's got a friggin'.
And he fueled the rivalry between him and Thor and other things. And he also did nothing to prepare them for fighting Hela when he inevitably died.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad. If T'Chaka had taken Eric, that would have been the right choice. But eventually, he would have to come clean about what happened to his dad.
Yeah.
And
that might cause almost the same thing to happen.
Yeah, but. It was bad to just leave him. So what do we think about the suit?
Okay, it don't seem like too implausible of an upgrade.
Yeah, even for what else we've seen in this movie.
Yeah, I mean the vibranium it's pretty much magic now.
Yeah.
To the point that they're even able to, heal spinal cord injuries by like sticking pieces of metal into people's bodies.
With the suit that just like appears on his body from the necklace, like you've eliminated the need for clothes. You've invented Power Rangers armor. You can carry this shit around in your pocket, and now you're bulletproof and skin tight and everything. I find it here that it's not just the armor; it's also with the heart-shaped herb. It's also the heart-shaped herb that gives him his powers.
Yeah.
Because in Civil War, we assume he's got the suit and he's got his training, his cat Fu.
A couple of times he does fight Bucky, out of costume.
Yeah, and holds his own. It's like, okay, he's got like increased stuff from the herb.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And of course they don't have to explain it.
Yeah.
In that movie, they can explain. They can save it for later. Going back in time a bit, they tried to make this movie a while ago, and it just didn't work out. So back in the late '90s, Wesley Snipes wanted to produce and star in a Black Panther movie where he would play Black Panther. And the studio, he had this grand vision in mind, but the studio just wouldn't give him the budget to realize it. And so ultimately he made the decision to go with a character that he could do a little cheaper, which was Blade. And so we got Blade, followed by Blade 2, which was also great, and Blade Trinity, which was not. But we won't worry about that. So I was thinking, this time when we saw it, I was thinking a lot about, okay, what if Wesley Snipes had made that movie? Or more precisely, since he could only raise so much money to make a movie that he wanted, what if he was like, okay, I'll make a cheaper version of Black Panther that will serve as the origin, and then if that's successful, it would get a sequel, which I think it would. Now, another thing is that a whole bunch of these Marvel characters got movies around this time. Like, Blade was the first successful Marvel movie at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Before they had shit like Howard the Duck and the unreleased Fantastic Four movie. So Blade was the start of that.
Yeah.
And then since then we got movies for like Daredevil, and movies for Hulk, and movies for the Punisher, and movies even for Spider-Man. All of which are not canon anymore, and those guys have all been brought into the MCU. Yeah. The Fantastic Four are waiting their turn, but they'll come around. But yeah, their movies that they got the first time aren't canon either. So you can make like a cheaper Black Panther origin movie that could coexist with the one that we've just been talking about.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be canon anymore. So how would it be different? It would be cheaper. So how do you make a movie like that cheaper? Well, we could see a little of Wakanda, like the throne room, some matte paintings, but then set mostly in America. So how do you do that? Well, like I said, one of the go-to villains is Claw, and in the comics, Claw is the one who kills T'Chaka, not Baron Zemo.
Right.
So Claw kills T'Chaka, like in the comics, losing his hand in the process. This hand.
Oh.
Not this hand.
Ah.
I don't know why they did that. And then he flees west, so T'Challa chases him to America. And like in 1998, that was kind of the moment where like Black Panther started to start climbing into the A-list with the Marvel Knights imprint, which he was a part of, along with Daredevil and Punisher and the Inhumans. A few years later, in 2005, they did it again with a new title written by Reginald Hudlin. But going back to 1998, that was about when we got a lot of the major characters that were in this movie, including Everett Ross and Okoye and Nakia. Yeah, so we'll be generous and say that they would be in this movie. But we wouldn't have Shuri because she didn't show up in 2005. Yeah, unless they were clever enough to invent her.
Yeah.
In 1998. Yeah, so he chases Claw to America. He maybe goes undercover, takes an alias. While he's in America, in the comics he does get an American love interest. Her name is Monica Lynn. And let's be real, she'd probably be played by Angela Bassett. Sure. And like I said, the other go-to villain is Manape. Would Manape be in this imaginary movie? Maybe. Maybe he has to do like he did in this movie where T'Chaka's dead, so Manape makes a go for the throne, so T'Challa's got to fight him. I imagine that
In the comics, Manape is usually just a straight bad guy, not the ambiguous, cool dude that we saw in this movie. I like him in this movie, but back then they wouldn't be as they wouldn't try that twist. We probably wouldn't have Killmonger in the origin movie because we got 2 villains already.
Yeah.
So maybe save him for the sequel.
Yeah.
One thing is that his agenda, his grand plan for Wakanda, would never be in a movie made in the late 90s. Okay? No way. Most Black Panther origin stories have some variation of him realizing that the old ways have to change, and also Wakanda has to go mainstream.
Yeah.
It can't be isolated anymore.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
That's all in, the real one. We can put those in this one too. We're going to focus on Claw as the main bad guy. Then he's probably going to get his, energy, sonic sound, body thing going on. And then it occurred to me that, the ending might actually be pretty similar to the ending of Blade, where, Deacon Frost becomes the blood god. And then I'm actually thinking of more the original ending, where he becomes a blood tornado. And they're like, oh, this doesn't work. He needs to actually fight him as a person. So Claw probably turned into his, sonic energy being, and Panther would have to use some sort of new vibranium tech that introduced in this story to take him out.
And since there's no MCU, no shared universe to introduce things early, everything has to be introduced within this one movie. So we have his whole origin. We have the death of T'Chaka, and we have him suiting up for the first time in this one movie. And he probably would not have the suit that morphs onto his body from a necklace in a movie with this budget. So
a Black Panther movie released in 1998 probably wouldn't have been as over-the-top, runaway, worldwide successful as this movie was, but it would have mattered.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I think it would have been a big deal, and I think it would make it work. And it probably would have gotten a sequel where we would get to see more Wakanda and probably fight Killmonger and do all of other crazy stuff that Wesley Snipes wanted to do in the first place, and couldn't stand to let go of it all. Yeah, so I think that's what we would see if Wesley Snipes had gotten his wish, or if he had managed to figure out how to do it on the cheap.
Yeah, and it wouldn't necessarily have erased this movie from existence, given how many
this
of the
movie
other
could
Marvel
probably
properties
exist exactly as it is. They wouldn't have to change a thing. Conveniently for us.
Yeah, so anyway, very pleased that this is the one that's demolishing all of the records, and that for the promos in Infinity War they get to really push the Wakanda stuff, because that's what people are really showing up for.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
that's great.
So yeah, that takes care of the MCU, and we will be back to cover Infinity War.
Wakanda forever!
Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed that video. If you do, make sure to like, comment, and favorite. Click on my shield to subscribe for more new videos. Make sure you head on over to my official website, evilcloneproduction.com, for even more exclusive content. How many more of these?